I didn't expect the blow to come from someone I called my friend, but there we were, standing in an appliance store, and she delivered it with a grin. Actually, she inherited her house. She didn't buy it. It landed like a slap I hadn't braced for. The room fell quiet. The employee, who had just asked a friendly question, "Did you buy or rent?" awkwardly shifted his weight and looked down at the stack of toasters. And me? I stood there, silent, confused, hurt, angry, and above all, stunned. Let me take you back a bit. I'm 28 years old. My life changed drastically not long ago when I lost both of my parents. Grieving is hard enough, but grief doesn't wait for the logistics of life to sort themselves out. Along with the sorrow came paperwork, attorneys, and suddenly, a house. A 3-bedroom home tucked far out in the sticks. Quiet, isolated, and heavy with memories. I never chose this house. I never signed for it. I didn't tour it or talk about curb appeal. It came to me wrapped in funeral flowers and condolence cards, and I've been doing my best with it, repainting the walls, replacing the decades-old appliances, learning what it means to be alone in a house once filled with voices I loved. Meanwhile, my friend, also 28, moved into a shiny 2-story townhouse last year. I've helped her unpack boxes, hang pictures, arrange her furniture, and I was genuinely happy for her. I knew her parents had bought the place for her and her partner, and I didn't judge that. Who can blame anyone for accepting help in a housing market like this? I never once threw it in her face. Not when she bragged about the neighborhood. Not when she talked about mortgage interest as if it were her own burden. I didn't care. Because we were friends. At least I thought we were. We were out shopping for kitchen appliances. Something lighthearted for once. A small escape from the chaos. I had asked a store employee for advice on kettles and toasters. As he offered suggestions, he casually asked if I was moving into a new place. I said yes. Then came the follow-up. Did you buy or rent? And in that split second, I chose what I thought was the path of least pain. I bought. It wasn't technically true, but it was easier than saying, I inherited a house after burying both of my parents. It was a white lie meant to preserve a sliver of privacy, to keep this interaction normal, comfortable, but she couldn't let it be. She cut in sharply, almost gleefully, and told him, no, I hadn't bought it, that I inherited it, that she, on the other hand, had purchased her home. And she grinned, like it was funny, like it was a win. I looked at her, stunned. The words hadn't fully registered yet, but my stomach twisted instantly. The way she said it, it wasn't casual. It wasn't innocent. It was a dagger cloaked in sugar. So I asked quietly, does it really matter? We're here to buy a toaster, not share my personal history. She shrugged, still smiling. Just for the record. Just for the record. That line echoed, like a judge banging a gavel in a courtroom I never consented to step into. I was done. So I turned to her, my voice steady but low, and said, okay then, just for the record, your parents bought your house. The air cracked open. The employee, bless him, did exactly what anyone would do. He disappeared. A blur of khakis and name tag retreating into the safety of the next aisle. My friend's face flushed. She turned and stormed out of the store. I followed her, confused and reeling. Outside, she turned to me and spat out the accusation. You're a massive asshole. You embarrassed me. You pointed out that I couldn't afford to own a house without my parents' help. And I looked at her, this person who I thought had my back, and replied, with all the grief in my bones, my parents helped me too. just in a really terrible way. That shut her up. Later, I told my partner. They agreed with me. She opened that door, they said. You just walked through it. But the aftermath didn't fade quietly. Our mutual friends split in opinion. Half said I was in the right. The others said we were both in the wrong, that I shouldn't have escalated it. I replay that moment over and over. She took my grief, something I've never fully unpacked, and laid it bare to a stranger. She weaponized it, trying to make herself look better in a trivial exchange with a guy selling blenders. What exactly was the point? Did she want to feel superior? To remind me I didn't earn what I have? As if pain doesn't count? What kind of person needs to win a conversation by casually announcing their friend's parents are dead? I still don't understand it, because it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a misstep. She grinned, and that grin, that is what haunts me. I hadn't seen it before, this side of her, but now I wonder if it had always been there, hiding in compliments laced with comparisons, in praise shadowed by competition. Had I missed it? Had I mistaken proximity for loyalty? We both have homes now. Neither of us got there on our own. Her parents gave her a gift. Mine left me one in the wake of their absence. But there's a difference, isn't there? She can still call her mom. She can have dinner with her dad. I can't do that anymore. I inherited a roof and 4 walls, but I would give them back in a heartbeat for 1 more hour with the people who built it. So yes, I told a store clerk I bought the house because it was simpler than saying, my life changed in the most devastating way, and this house is part of the debris. And she, my friend, chose that moment, amid kettles and toasters, to strike, to correct the record. So I corrected hers, and now I'm here, asking, so, am I the asshole? Sometimes, the deepest betrayals don't come from enemies. They come from people who know where your wounds are, and touch them anyway. This story isn't about a toaster, or a house, or who paid for what. It's about grief, insecurity, power, and the ugly ways they clash when people feel the need to compete instead of connect. It's about how grief doesn't come with instructions, and how society, in its obsession with ownership and success, forgets that loss is its own kind of inheritance. The truth is, both of these women were trying to protect something. One guarded her pain with silence. The other guarded her pride with performance. But here's what I want you to sit with. When someone tells you a softer version of their truth, when they choose peace over precision, are you the kind of person who protects that moment? Or do you break it open just to prove a point? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever been in a moment like this, where your truth was used against you? And if you were standing in that appliance aisle, overhearing this whole thing, whose side would you be on? This has been AITA Story Vault. Until next time, remember, how you say the truth matters just as much as the truth itself.